And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series of the broadcast of Group B here in the Rex April Madness. We already had Clem making out in first place, and now we are here to determine the final player to make it through into the playoffs out of this group. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Erahome, we have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg himself. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player from South Korea. It is Classic. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat to jump into our final match of the evening of the broadcast of the group. Let's go. Unfortunately, there's only one place left. Only one place left. Only one of these players can make it through into the playoffs. Unfortunate. I mean, I would love to see both of them make it through. I do think that both players are quite comparable in skill. Both Classic and SHIN are quite close here and quite comparable when it comes to their caliber of play. But again, only enough room for one. Let's go. I'm at least hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for a game 4, maybe even a game 5. The last thing I would want is a 3-0. Not here, not in the decider match, but we'll see. We'll see. It all comes down to our players. For now, we have our hatch gas pool, standard opener out of SHIN. Likewise, Classic going for his own gate expand as well. We go. So far, so good. Now, welcome one more to Erahome. Erahome is the smallest map in the tournament map pool. It is the smallest map, incredibly aggressive, very short rush distance by ground. You can see here from third base to third expansion, we have one screen. We have one screen in between bases here. We have a very short region, very short area here through the center. There is a small choke point that you can take advantage of, and there are these ramps as well that you can also use defensively. But all in all, the rush distance by ground is very short, and aggression is favored on Erahome. Is favored. It is going to be a Stargate opener out of Classic. Everything looking normal for the time being. Likewise, SHIN getting ready for his own third expansion. Third base now being taken. Likewise with the Stargate, Classic can opt to open up Oracle, can opt to open up Void Ray instead. This is a rematch as well, bear that in mind. SHIN did already take down Classic 2-1 previously in this tournament, in this group. Now it's time for the rematch. Lings, they slip in, they get 1 probe so far. Nice damage here. That's 1 probe for 2 Lings. That's a better trade here for SHIN. Initially, better trade. Likewise, oh, okay, not going to be the Oracle. Instead, it's going to be a Void Ray opener here out of Classic. Interesting. As the Void Ray does pop out, likewise, Oracle is on the way. With this Void Ray again, SHIN, he's going to be denied vision, denied scouting, Overlords are being hunted down, and the Classic can go for some hidden tech. We'll keep an eye here in the main base. We did see Classic attempt to go into Glaive previously here tonight, but with some mixed success there, wasn't quite able to achieve the damage he was hoping for. Here it looks like a more standard follow-up as a second Overlord gets caught. And this is on SHIN. SHIN, he did not pull away despite knowing it was a Void Ray opener, despite seeing the Void Ray earlier. So far, 2 Overlord kills. Nice damage, and here comes the Twilight Council. I don't see a Forge. Uh-oh. Yeah, we just spoke about Glaives, and we saw Classic attempt this previously in the broadcast, and now we're seeing it again. Oracle dives in, gets 1 drone. Now again, I'm assuming that this is going to be Glaive Adepts. We have seen some players go into Blink from here, specifically Hero. Hero, he does enjoy going into Blink, so technically it is an option. Meanwhile, Lazy coming first round, they do not force a cancel. Yeah, they don't quite get it. Nexus does survive, and show us what you got. Show us the Glaives or the Blink. And there it is. Glaive Adepts are on the way here for a Classic. He does commit, he does double down. SHIN already going for a safety Roach Warren though. Already in production. Checking the vision, SHIN, he did not see the main base, but is playing it safe nonetheless. So he has the tools to defend. Does have the tools, but is that enough? Has 5 adepts, they do threaten the shade. I believe last time we saw Classic go for this build was on Killer's Mile. I believe. It was the game where Shin opened up at Banelings and he defended against the first wave, but not the second, if I recall correctly. Where he went for a Ling counterattack and where he was able to kill a Nexus but didn't quite end the game. Actually, was it on Killer's Mile or Persephone? So on one of the two. Meanwhile, that's a lot of adepts. that's a lot of adepts. They're moving in. Shin, he does fully wall off on the high ground, massing up Ling Roach. Adepts are revealed, and Shin, does he wall off in time? He does. Does wall off. Stasis is denied. Denies the stasis. Adepts take him into the shade. They knock down the front door. That's a kill, not a cancel. But the army is slowed down. Shin, he collapses in, takes down a good amount of the adepts, but the rest will shade into the main. They commit. Drones are falling. Getting 1, getting 2 drones so far. Getting up to 3. No major damage yet. Ooh, as we are getting now up to 5 drone kills. If I say 5, getting up to 7. 7 drone kills. Queen goes down as well. Shin is being pulled apart. So a lackluster reaction in the main. And this is becoming too much here. 11 worker kills. And Shin, has he respond? All in. He's going for the all in. Honestly, this was a good start for Classic. Classic, he gets 11 worker kills. He does trade well. But back at home, what does he have to defend? He has some shield batteries on the way. He has 3 sentries. He has an immortal in production. He has 1 void ray. Last, I'm not so sure he's going to be ready here for this push, for this counterattack. There is no roach speed. You see here the queens are kept hidden. But the void ray will slow this down, getting 1. Oh, they're not getting the roach. Just to survive. Nice force field, looking down the army. Getting 1, getting 2 Ravagers. Lings are coming from behind. Yeah, they do get the full surround. Queens, they jump on top of the army as well. And Shin, he breaks through. He breaks through, takes down the Immortals one after the other. And Shin, he has too much. He has far too much here. It was good economic damage earlier, but alas, we are not ready back to defend. Lings, they flood on in. Hero, the wall is not a wall. And Shin, he's in the third. He's in the natural, and he's in the main base. Going for everything, gets this round on the Robo. And going for the kill, as that's going to be 14 worker kills. The Immortal looks like it is barely going to pop out in time. In time to get surrounded. Nice opposition micro here with those probes. Nice micro. Oof. Miles on the pylon. Denies the warp in. Queens are being targeted, and the Classic is attempting to pull off this defense, but the losses are just far too much. Army Star steps in, GG gets called as the natural base is compromised, and Shin will take a 1-0 lead. Ooh, GG. Shin, he will take a lead in the series here, will take the initial game. Again, Classic did open up with Glaive Adepts, and he did a lot of damage. He did well for himself. Killed 11 workers, he was able to snipe some queens as well, but we saw Shin be so decisive in the counterattack and the counter all-in. We saw that Classic, he wasn't quite ready for it, he wasn't expecting it either, he didn't see it until it was already in his face. That is also the power of Arrowhome. We spoke about it, but Arrowhome is a very small map, very aggressive map. Aggression is favored, and it goes both ways. Does go both ways. GG, well played. With that, Shin does take a lead, but now we're getting the game number 2, and we'll see if Classic can bounce back as we load into Persephone. Let's go. Persephone, of course, being a very direct map in the map pool. It's again more macro oriented. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Shin. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss, down in the series, but it's a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us, plenty more games to come. It is Classic. Go. So, you know, it was a very intense back and forth in game 1, with Classic initially going for the Glaive Adepts, and of course SHIN responding with his own counter all-in. But now we're getting into game number 2. Persephone has a longer rush distance by ground compared to Aerohome, but every map is that way, as Aerohome is the smallest map in the map pool. Likewise, Persephone is still relatively aggressive, still quite straightforward. And we haven't seen too much late game on this map. If at all, actually. Once again, aggression is going to be favored here. From the side of Classic, he doesn't have to play Glaives again. We could see something more standard, like Pulse On and Blink into an 8 gate, for example, into a longer game state. Classic, he's typically the kind of player where if he sees an opportunity, he will just turtle up and rush into Sky Toss, if at all possible. This might not be the worst map for it, but we'll see. That's typically more favored on some of the larger maps of the map instead. Here we go. So far, standard opener, hatch gas pull, standard opener out of SHIN. Likewise, Classic going for the gate expand into Cybercore. So nothing crazy, nothing out of the norm. Everything so far is normal. From here, the Cybercore is complete, and now we can go for our tech of choice. We can go for the tech structure here in between the bases, going for the Stargate. So Stargate opener out of Classic. We saw that last game this was a Void Ray first. I do like the idea of Classic going for another Void Ray opener. The reason why is just because it's a good way to keep your opponent guessing, even if you plan on playing normal and standard and going for just Pulse On and Blink Stalkers. Because we saw the Void Ray in game 1, that might kind of impact or influence SHIN and his response here in game 2. So we'll see what Classic goes for. Goes for the Void Ray once again, or if he goes into the Oracle. And yeah, we have the answer. Once again, Void Ray opener, so I do appreciate this. As I mentioned, like, I do think it's just really good mind games as you play out the series. Keep SHIN in the dark. Step this force back. Void Ray will be hunting down the Overlords, and the real question becomes, what do we see after this? So it's going to be a Void Ray opener that is of course clear, but from here we can go into a third expansion into +1 and Blink. We can go for a third expansion into earlier Glaive Adepts. We could even go for a Fleet Beacon into Sky Toss. So we got options. Void Ray moves out. Oracle follower. As the Void Ray is hunting down any stray Overlords. There was one free Overlord kill across the map. Third base is on the way. It is going to be Eva Chamber first here out of SHIN, so this should be +1 melee. It looks like Ling Hydra out of SHIN. There is a high chance that SHIN will skip his Roach Warren. If he does, something like Glaive Adepts would wreak havoc. SHIN going for the going for the gold, double expanding. So third base into the gold as well, double expand that is SHIN. Very greedy play here from our Zerg player. Meanwhile, do you see what I see? I see a Twilight Council as the third base was being taken, and I don't see a Forge. This looks like the same build. This does look like Glaive Adepts. So if it is, I like this a lot more. The reasoning for this, as I just mentioned, do you see what I see? I see melee. Melee is on the way with that faster Eva Chamber. I see a Ninja base on the way as well, and I don't see a Roach Warren or a Bailey Nest. So something like Glaives can hit quite hard. And yep, there it is, the Glaive Adepts are on the way. So this is the same build 2 games in a row from Classic, but the response and the play of SHIN is different this time. Last game, SHIN played very safe with an early Roach Warren. This time, SHIN is being greedy. So SHIN is being greedy, and there's a higher chance that this works here in game 2. As he knows. Yeah, he sees the Eva Chamber. So Classic, he knows that SHIN is skipping tech. He's already aware. And SHIN is in danger. Is in danger here. SHIN, right now, he's droning. He's droning, he's massing up Lings, he's massing up Queens. Again, 0 Roaches and 0 Banelings. Now, of course, because of the goal base, it does mean that SHIN can afford some losses. Oh! Stasis goes off. Yeah, massive connection. Half the middle line gets caught out. I was going to say here that because of the goal base, even if SHIN loses, say, 12, 13 drones, these are acceptable losses. The goal base makes up for that. Or maybe not. I mean, 13 workers is a lot, but but he can recover those losses. He can recoup. Meanwhile, adepts are banking up and then moving out. And again, that's a lot of adepts. Adepts are sent across the map. Baliness is halfway done. It won't be done in time. Station trap, does not pop off in the natural. Adepts are shading in. They're shading in. Again, it's purely Lings to defend. And he commits to the shade. It does commit. Lings are going to melt. Queens, they try to engage, and every Ling is going to go down. And from here, we shade into the mineral lines. Every Ling falls. Queen gets targeted. We shade into the main. Actually, no, we cancel the shade. Going further into the natural. So far, no major economic damage. Baneling production has begun. So SHIN is just by a little bit more time here for his Banelings. As more drones getting caught out, it's going to be 9 worker kills. Oh, does he split? The splits are good. Splits are good enough. You see with these Ling reinforcements, SHIN, he is going to be able to clean this up eventually. Meanwhile, oh no, the drones! Drones are left behind. 13 kills. Ay, ay, ay. 13, 14, 15, 16, oh my, 17! 17 workers go down. That's a full mineral line. So far, a much more successful Glaive Adept attack here from Classic, much more compared to last game. But the goal base. The goal base is still a factor. So on the one hand, yes, that was really good damage. On the other hand, the goal base is a factor. Meanwhile, Classic, he checks, he confirms, and Classic will punish the gold. Classic, he's all over this. He's all over SHIN, and SHIN, he will not recover. The goal base was the way for SHIN to sustain those losses, and it's not going to happen. Not anymore. I say that, Lings, they do deal with this, but now Classic knows where to direct his attention. Speaking of directing his attention, there it is. More adepts are on the way. Just warping in more adepts. More army. Adepts, they shade in once again. This is becoming game-ending damage. It's becoming far too much here. Another 5 drones go down. Adepts, they poke in. More adepts on the way. Yeah, the goal base has to be evacuated. There's no surviving this. Catching another 13. Oh god. Catching another 14 workers. That's gonna be how many? That's gonna be 32 in total. Ay ay ay. Shades back to the gold. And SHIN is all in. At this point, SHIN is completely all in, and I don't see this working anywhere near as well. He's going for Ling, Bane, Hydra. At least an attempted version of it. As SHIN, he does get on top of the sentries, not a bad surround. Takes down the sentries, going for the Immortals. Nice juggling here by Classic. He does save one, does save both, just barely. Saves the Immortals, and again, it's all or nothing for SHIN. He has to end the game here and now. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Classic. As he breaks through the initial line of defense, takes down all the Lings, and there's almost nothing left. Yeah, we're running on fumes here. SHIN, he has a couple of Banelings, he has a couple of Hydras. SHIN does not have enough, takes down the Prism. Not a bad pick-off. But every Hydra falls, and with that, GG gets called. Classic, he fights back. He puts a point on the board. Whew. GG, well played. We have a back and forth, we have a series. Again, we did see the same build 2 games in a row from Classic. Meanwhile, SHIN, he did cut corners. He was far too greedy. Ninja base, and of course, +1 melee, so hyper greed out of SHIN. Gets punished for it, gets shut down. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a back and forth, and now we're loading into game number 3. We're going to be loading into Ultra Love. Let's go. We have that final map, or that next map, in game 3. Don't forget to stretch. Don't forget to posture check. Posture check in the chat. So we get into game number 3. we go. Alright. Beautiful. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, being forced into a tied series. We'll see if he can take a lead. We'll see if he can gain back momentum. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, fighting back and putting that point on the board. Momentum is on his side. It is a classic. Hello. I was not expecting this. Classic is being cheeky here. Does move out on the right-hand side, does avoid the initial Overlord scout. And I'm curious if he's just coming with a more cheeky scout himself. And okay. He's going for the scouts. Interesting pathing. Very interesting here. He does avoid the initial Overlord. He does skirt around the edge. He will come in. This is a later scout though because of that diversion. And it is still Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener out of SHIN. Classic, he will not deny the expansion. Okay. Interesting. I'm curious as to the purpose of that, but again, he doesn't deny the base. He does go in a little bit later instead. For now, we just calm down. So we have a gate expanded to Cybercore. Standard build here by Classic. Nothing cheeky across the map. Nothing cheeky, nothing crazy. Based on the pylon placement, this does look like a Stargate opener, but we'll see. I mean, it's been the Stargate opener every game so far. We're not expecting Twilight Council play yet out of Classic. Now, Classic has gone Glaives 2 games in a row. Does he go for it for a third time? Now, as a reminder, the Classic, when he made the decision to go into Glaives, he had already seen the Evo Chamber. He had already known that SHIN was going into Ling Hydra. He already knew that that SHIN was going to be skipping Roaches and skipping Banelings. So it was an informed decision. Here, we'll see what he gets done with the Oracle. We'll see if he can scout the follow-up tech. As his Stargate is about to finish. Both in Game 1 and in Game 2, Classic did open Void Ray, so he could go for another Void Ray opener. Once again to try to hunt down those Overlords, once again to keep the opponent busy in the dark. This time though, Oracle. Okay, for the first time this series, Oracle first. Which means earlier scouting, earlier aggression out of Classic. A lot of Sedu Shade into the mineral line. 3 drone kills so far. Some decent damage here out of Classic. Getting 3 workers. Oracle moves out. Second Oracle's on the way. And so far, this looks like the most standard build that we've seen so far out of Classic. Triple Oracle into +1, or into a third base, into +1, and Blink. So for the first time, this series does look like a more standard game. Meanwhile, Lings, they do get the third base. They do get on top of it. They're hoping for a cancel, and they're going to force it as well. Classic out of position. There's a cancellation. Oracle's ready to race back. We did skip the second Adept. So Classic was being greedy, and he was punished for said greed. Again, no additional Adepts, no additional Warpins. Third base was denied. So far, a strong start here for SHIN. I'll just move out. So move out, as I did mention, standard follow-up, Forge, Twilight Council, this time no Glaives. No Glaives here out of Classic. Does shade into the mineral line, gets another 2 drones. Say 2, can get up to 3. He's up all the Lings, takes down the Queen. Oh, this is getting out of hand, getting into 4 drone kills, shading into the main. Another drone goes down. 6, 7, 8 workers. Ay, ay, ay. SHIN is stuck redroning, resaturating. Going for his lair. Lair is a little bit more delayed. Let's hold that aggression. Now, because Classic has dealt so much damage, he has the option to try to turn this into a 3-base all-in. Right now, he does go for a gateway explosion. It's going to be 5 gates. 5 gates for the time being. We are looking for 2 more gateways. We're looking for a 7-gate setup into potentially a proxy 8th gateway across the map. As another gate gets thrown down. So right now up to 6, which is more standard. They'll throw down 6. Likewise, gets 3 more drones across the map, going for the stasis as well, going for the double stasis. And SHIN, he gets caught out. Here, no reaction at the natural. Oof, stasis pops off. Classic, we've got to make a choice here. It's taking gases. Is taking gases. Taking gases at the 3rd base is a sign of tech. It is a sign that Classic plans on going into Storm or into Colossus. As both gases are being taken, this means that no 3-base all-in. No proxy, no 3-base all-in out of Classic. And speaking of tech, yep, with these gases comes the tech of choice. It is going to be Storm. So Classic is building up towards a longer game state. I wouldn't have been opposed to him going for an all-in after dealing so much economic damage. Again, he has killed 15 drones over the course of this game, plus a stasis. One Oracle is finally going to... Never mind, the Oracle survives. Oracle does get away. Classic is moving in to try to force a kill. Not even a cancel. Speaking of canceling, Lings get us around. They force a cancel on the 4th base. Hydras have arrived. SHIN does hold his own 4th back at home. Does hold on, bleeding out a lot of Hydras though. Oh, good. Yeah, a lot of Hydras do fall. Expensive losses here for SHIN. We got 3, 4, 5 Hydras. Oh my god, even more Hydras do get picked up. From here, it looks like SHIN, he will have enough to hold on, but these have been expensive losses here for this Zerg player. And Classic isn't even done. Again, he's getting to Storm. Getting into Storm, getting to charge. SHIN, he's up to 70 workers. We'll see if he turns up any further than that. Or if he commits on 70 drones. Now he's forced back home. Forced to defend. Now getting his 4th base. There it is, up and running. You can see SHIN teching up. He is not going for the all-in. He's droning, he's teching, going for the infestation bit. This should be for the hive tech, should be for the Vipers, and potentially even Lunkers as well. It's 2 range on the way. SHIN is initially moving out though. Catches out one of the Oracles. Second move out towards the left. Do you see Classic trying to wall up? Trying to wall off. Storm, I believe, is done. Despite that, Storm wasn't ready. Archon morphs in. SHIN pushing on the right-hand side here. So yeah, the storms are not coming in. That's a lot of storms. That's how many? 8? 6. 6 High Templar. Storm for himself. Does pop off. Buying time. SHIN has not been droning, by the way. He drones up a little bit, squeezing out a couple of workers, but he's still on 72. He's maxing. He is maxing out. Ooh, we'll take a storm to the face. Classic so far, he's holding on. He deflects on the left, he deflects on the right. Of course, we do see SHIN trying to trade out those roaches. Picking up any key units. Catching out a couple of stalkers. Hive is almost done. SHIN, he's still enjoying map control. I would say that he can now freely expand and take more bases. But now, holding on. Hive is now complete, and we can see we're just prioritizing rushing into lurker upgrades. Okay, so the goal for SHIN is to turtle. Is to turtle up, is to try to get to make it to those lurkers and survive. It's easier said than done. He's making his way there. Both players are maxing out. I do favor Classic in a head-on fight. How many lurkers are there? So far, 9. That's not that many. Just under 10. I guess Stalkers, they do attempt to surround. Likewise, as that's attempted, we have a counterattack here across the map. Getting to the mineral line. Classic, he does defend. Does hold on. Classic rotating back over. SHIN trying to force the issue. Do we have detection? We do. Army dives in. Storm on the main army as well. Yeah, Observer's over this, and with that, SHIN, he will lose most of his Hydras, but the Immortals, they're going down as well. SHIN, does he have enough? He has no lurkers. Yeah, no lurkers remaining. Classic holds. He holds, he defends. There are what? There are 0 lurkers left. Oh, and without lurkers, I don't see SHIN surviving this. Yeah, Classic, he goes for the dive. Once again, the soup does lie, does catch out these Hydras, now catching out the roaches as well. SHIN, he's in a lot of trouble here. And while he's being kept busy with the main army, Zelta wreak havoc in the mineral line. Getting another 5 workers. See Classic reinforcing. See how close he is to breaking his opponents, of breaking SHIN. Takes down the Queen. Going for some overlords, getting whatever he can get done. SHIN holds. SHIN does barely hold on. And the upgrades, they are somewhat kicking in. We're getting +3 attack here for the lurkers. Getting 0 giants. Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I don't know why, but my mind went to Warcraft 3. But no. Getting tired. But here we go. We have a Sky Toss on the way. Ooh. Second Stargate, Flea Beacon. Classic, he has not been able to break SHIN. Does fail to break him, but he backs off, getting another expansion, getting a 5th base, and now switching into Sky Toss. Oh boy. Sky Toss is on the way. Meanwhile, SHIN building up his lunkers. Now, SHIN, he does now have some Hive Tech upgrades, that is true. He can try to break the expansion, the armies, they do pass by each other, and do we go for the base? Do we go for the Nexus? Uh-oh. Do we turn around? He commits. He is committing. Pseudo base trade. Yeah, Nexus is going to go down. Classic, he commits across the map. Nexus falls real fast and real quick. SHIN going for the kill, going for the natural. Yeah, but Classic, his army is not quite large enough here. Breaks down the front door. Likewise, SHIN runs into some storms. Storms, they pop off, they connect. Hydra's going to be going down. Likewise, natural base does full. Meanwhile, there are lurkers on the high ground. 3 lurkers morphing in. Oh, do they burrow in time? Oh, they're not going to burrow. Oh my god, they barely do. There's 1 lurker left. Never mind, the storm will shut it down. A lurker falls, main base under fire. All the takers here, Hydra Den, Lurker Den, Hive as well. It's all going to fall. It's all going to get cleaned up. At the same time, SHIN making his way into the natural, but there are Tempest to defend. And there's no anti-air. Nothing shoots up. We have lurkers, we have roaches. These Tempests will kill everything. And remember, Classic, you can always recall. You can always recall back home if need be. And SHIN has to rebuild his tech. Hydra Den's being rebuilt. Lurker Den's being rebuilt. There as well. Oh my god. The storms from the high ground. Storms, they pop off. Classic, he has yet to recall. He's still getting more value. Oh, but he's locked in. He's locked into the natural. Recall is still available. SHIN, he has a decent economy, but he has no tech. He is just now rebuilding his Hydra Den. He has no spawning pool, so no more lings. Looks like Classic did recall. Did recall back home. He's moving in. As he moves in, SHIN comes in for a counterattack, but there's a wall of cannons. Yeah, the cannons do defend. Lings, they do catch an immortal. Barely not. Yeah, the army's in position. Classic, he is perfectly fine, and he moves out. Now with the supply lead. And here for Classic, the soup is not lying. Classic, he attempts to move in. Still 3 lurkers behind this. More lunkers, moving in. Getting up to 8. Classic, he just has to play it slow. Just play it slow, play it steady. Remember, there is no hive, so there are no vipers. Lurkers are going down one after the other. Ooh, storm zones away. And this is just free damage. Yeah, free damage. SHIN, he just cannot engage. Not into this many storms. Classic, he has done it. He's reached his final form here with the Sky Trolls, with his ground army to support as well. It's an ambitious spore. Flanking storm. And SHIN, he's down to what? Down to 10 Hydras, 1 lurker. Oh my god, the storms are brutal. And Classic, he does it. He does it. He has broken the back of SHIN. He's pushing into the final base. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take a lead in the series at 2-1. Whew, GG. Oh my god. Classic will take a lead. Again, a very intense back and forth. We did get into the mid game here, that is true, but alas, SHIN, he was out of position, was caught off guard when it came to the base trade. Classic was just all over it. On top of that, Classic just had a stronger mid game as well, catching out Hydras, catching out some high-tech units, and of course enjoying a greater economy. GG. GG, well played. Just catching up with the chat. First year of subbing to the best channel on Twitch. Thank you for all you and crew do for StarCraft 2. Let me play with your kitties. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime for 12 months, for 1 full year of support. Thank you so much for the support, and we appreciate the kind words. We do appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. We do what we can, Bappy. We do what we can. And as always, for the past 5 years for EPT, but I guess we've been casting on the channel for 7 years at this point. 7 years. Slowly growing, slowly progressing, of course, over the years. So thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Always. Again, I can't believe it's been that long. I still remember casting, like, for the first time, like Sentimiento Latino or the ESL Open Cups as well. Doesn't feel like that long ago, but yeah, 5 years. Crazy. Or like a beginning of EPT, I should emphasize. Like, crazy. But thank you so much. And here's to potentially even more years to come, right? We're always here. Always casting StarCraft back. As spawning in the right hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Down in the series, down heavily here in the series. He has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player from South Korea, leading the series 2-1, and 1 game away from becoming, or from advancing on into the playoffs. It is Classic. Thank you. Alright, settling in. And again, last game we did have a much more standard build out of Classic, getting into the mid game, getting into +1 and Blink, into Storm, of course, where he had a much more successful setup. We did see that SHIN was trying to be a little bit more aggressive and assertive, and he just wasn't quite able to break the defensive line of Classic. But now we load into the largest map so far. I want to say that Amygdala might be the largest map in the tournament map pool, just because a lot of tournaments have gotten rid of Neon Violet Square, Abyssal Reef, King's Cove. Those 3 old maps have gotten rid of them. As a result, Amygdala and Frostline suddenly are the largest map in the map pool. Don't get larger than that. I mean, not in these tournaments, at least. So because of that, we should be seeing a very different dynamic. We should not be seeing Glaives here. Amygdala is a prime map for rushing into Skytoss. We did see Classic get towards Tempest production towards the end of that last game, and we might see Classic head in that direction again here as well. As it is a larger map, long rush distance by ground, and because that aggression is not his favorite here, it'll be difficult for SHIN to try to punish Classic on Amygdala. Not impossible, but difficult. I'm getting my second win. Here we go. So far we have that Stargate opener. Last game, of course, we had Classic opening up Oracle. Triple Oracle into third base, into +1 and Blink. We expect something similar here as well. We do expect that on Amygdala. Overlord dips in, and SHIN confirms the initial take of choice. SHIN does confirm. SHIN pulls away. Ooh, it's going to be not an Oracle, it's going to be a Void Ray opener instead out of Classic. Okay. Will be that Void Ray opener. We've seen this before, and so far in Game 1 and Game 2, we did have Void Ray opener into Glaives. Again, I'm not too fond of the idea of going into Glaives here on Amygdala. I mean, it would be unexpected. True, I guess. It would be unexpected, so it could catch SHIN off guard, but it's a very risky choice to make here. We'll see what Classic goes for after the expansion. As Adepts do pop off, getting 4 drone kills. Very nice damage so far. I believe that was for 2 Adepts. Yeah, for 2 Adepts, 4 drones. Overlord is hunted down. We see SHIN moving in to attempt to delay the expansion, but the Void Ray is in position. Void Ray will defend. Oracle's on the way. And we are waiting for the take of choice. There we go. We have the initial Twilight Council. Twilight Council has been placed. Do we go for the Forge? Are we going back into Glaives? No shot. I guess we are. Okay. No Forge. No Forge in sight. This does scream Void Ray into Glaives. This is the same build that we saw in Game 1 and in Game 2 of this series. Now we're back at it. Oh, no, never mind. Later Forge. Okay. So later Forge. Now because of that, this should just be Blink. It should be Blink into +1. It is going to be earlier Blink, but the Forge being thrown down is a sign that it shouldn't be Glaives. Yeah, Blink is on the way. So we'll keep an eye on Classic here. Something that we haven't seen so far in this series is an 8-gate Blink all-in. It is a very viable build as the drones do go down. 3 drones for 1 Oracle. Better trade for SHIN. Better defense. There's that Eva Chamber for +1 melee. It looks like SHIN is going into Ling Hydra. Looks like SHIN is going to be skipping Roaches. And the Adepts do confirm. So SHIN is embracing that Ling Hydra. Speaking of, yep, there's that Hydrogen, as I did mention. Meanwhile, Classic is going for a Gateway Explosion. 6 gates so far. We'll see if he throws down any more. We're looking for gases. We're looking for gases or extra gateways. What's it going to be? Void Ray pulls away. Extra gases. Okay, so extra gases into a Temple Archives. This is very similar to what we saw last game. So last game we did see +1 blink into Storm, into eventually Sky Toss. That should be what we're seeing here as well from Classic. So setting up for a longer macro game. As Stasis goes off, does catch a good amount of drones. And SHIN likewise is droning up as well. SHIN is droning. We do expect SHIN to tech up. He has yet to throw down an infestation bit, so we'll keep an eye out for pits, for hive tech and lurkers. For now, SHIN is staking and staying on a lair tech composition. Hydras are building up. SHIN, wait, he cancelled. Oh no. It was a fake out. It just clicked together. I was wait, hold on, is he going for an all-in? I didn't see +1 range. No upgrade. 0 upgrades here. We just assumed it was going to be +1 melee, but SHIN, he's not droning. He's not droning up. He is going for a 3-base all-in. You can see here, it doesn't take his gas either. So the Evo Chamber was a fake out. He is not getting any upgrades. It's all or nothing mass-ling Hydra out of SHIN. Cheeky build. Remember, this Evo Chamber got scouted, so seeing the Evo Chamber does confirm to Classic that he can macro, but really he cannot. Here we go. Here we go. It's the all-in here from SHIN. Storm is ready. Either SHIN breaks Classic here and now, or he dies trying. The Storms are solid. Oh my god. Storms, a pop-off against the Hydras. Another Storm as well. We don't want to be too wasteful though. The Lings are coming in. Now there's no more Storms. Yeah, the Storms, they were spent earlier. Lings, they get us around. Classic is in trouble. He has to back off. So far, nice positioning. He pulls back to the shield battery. Sentry gets caught. Sorry, High Templar gets caught. But Classic is holding. Classic is holding on. Zelze coming to reinforce. These are slow lots. Charge finishing up in 10 seconds. Charge finishing in 7. And with charge, he can just dive on in. Takes down the Lings, takes down the Hydras, and Classic is overwhelming. He's stumbling out of control. This was a cheeky build here by SHIN, faking out the upgrade, faking out the Evo Chamber. But alas, I don't think he was expecting that many Storms. And with that, Classic, he holds. And Classic, he has 78 probes. Classic has a booming economy compared to SHIN. Remember, SHIN, he has not been droning and he's not been teching. There's nothing here. There's no setup for Hive, no setup for upgrades, no setup for anything else other than Ling Hydra. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Classic, and the worse it becomes for SHIN. And at this point, I don't see SHIN breaking this. Unless we can somehow avoid all these Storms. That's 4 more Storms. Yeah, there's no shot. Yeah, there's no shot. There's just too many Storms. As SHIN is just being bullied back. SHIN, he had a strong start to the broadcast. He did win the initial best of 3. But here there's the 5. GG gets called. SHIN, he will tap out. He will fail in his all-in, and Classic will take the series at 3-1, advancing on to the playoffs. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Classic. It was a wild build out of SHIN. I was not expecting it, especially on amygdala level maps where all-ins are not as strong, they're not as favored, just because the map is larger, the rush distance by ground is longer. But SHIN with the fake out, he did not make any upgrades, he did not drone either. He cut workers at 3 base saturation and just made nothing but Lings and Hydras. He was hoping to catch Classic with his pants down, but again, Classic, he had like what, 5 or 6 High Templar with his army. It was crazy just how many High Templar he had banked up, and he had plenty of Storms to buy time and to defend. GG. GG, well played. Classic, he will take the series, and with that, let's head on over here to the groups and figure out where we are and catch up on everything that's been going on. Here we go. And from the top, we did have Clem, of course. Clem, he did advance out in first place. Clem took down Nice 2-0, and Clem took down SHIN 3-1 to make it here into out of the groups and into the playoffs in first place. Meanwhile, we had SHIN. Initially, he had a good start. SHIN, he took down Classic 2-1 in the best of 3. SHIN also took a map off of Clem, but in the rematch, SHIN did struggle that much more. Hyper aggression out of Classic early on, And then we saw SHIN himself be the aggressor with mixed success. As clearly you could see here, he attempted the all-in, did fail. We did see some similar setups previously in the series as well. So congratulations to Classic, as Classic, he gets his revenge, and Classic makes it out in second place. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to the Classic. My condolences to SHIN. SHIN, he played well. He did play well. He fought his heart out and went the distance as well, making it all the way to the decider match, and even then, even taking maps off of Clem. But Classic, he will be our victor here today. Congratulations. Congratulations to Classic. Shout out to Classic and Clem. They've both made it through. My condolences to SHIN and Nice, as they are both eliminated from the tournament. SHIN and Nice, they're no longer a part of this. And now we can have a look at the overall Wikipedia page and catch up on what comes next in this tournament. Oh boy. Here we go. Bam. Okay, from the top here, we have the first two groups. We just wrapped up. 2 days ago, we casted Group A, and today we casted Group B. So we have Hero, Solar, Clem, and Classic. 2 Protoss, 1 Zerg, and 1 Terran so far have made it into the playoffs. Next week, in 5 days' time, we have Group C. And next week, in 7 days' time, in exactly a week, we have Group D. So next week is going to be C and D. We have Dark, Cure, Zaun, Bunny. We also have Max, Björn, Rogue, and Ryung. Oh boy, so 2 groups remaining here. We're going to be wrapping that up next week, and the week after that, we're going to be catching up on the playoffs. The playoffs, of course, are here. Top 8 players, single elimination bracket. That is going to be the playoffs here. That will be at the end of the month. That'll be in 2 weeks' time. But until then, next week we have the remainder of the group stage. So do make sure you mark your calendars and tune in. It's going to be a blast, I'm sure. It's going to be a great time catching up with all these players and going over all these matches. Oh boy. So we'll see who will join Hero, Clem, Solar, and Classic in those playoffs. See who will join them. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you all had a great time here tonight. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, we just wrapped up with our Thursday broadcast. You can see here the Rex April Madness has concluded, and up next at 9 AM KST, that is 10 AM AEST, that is in 9 hours. In 9 hours time, we're going to be live with the Enki show matches. We're going to be live with a best of 9 between Clem and Dark, and a best of 9 between Björn and Hero. So 2 best of 9s. We're going to be featuring them back to back during the Enki show matches. Also at 5 PM KST, that is at 6 PM AST tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be live with the Chicken King Cup. Number 7, I believe, which is another big 8-player invitational featuring players like Zaun, featuring players like Björn, and many others. I believe Kyo as well. Some of the top Koreans are facing off in that 2-day event. You can see there on Friday and on Saturday as well. So 2 days of the Chicken King Cup. Make sure you're a part of it. Meanwhile, outside of that, we do have the Kung Fu Cup Warcraft 3 edition on Saturday. We have the beginning of the HSL Hispanic Star League playoffs on Sunday, and Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday as well. So 2 casts a day every single day. Again, it is a very intense broadcasting schedule this week. Usually we try to have at least half a day off, but specifically this week we were notified about the Chicken King Cup and also of the Rex April Madness. Because of these more bigger events and these more bigger invitational events with these bigger prize pools and bigger names, we did decide to prioritize them over taking some time off. So 2 casts a day every day. Let's go, baby, let's go. It's a little bit draining, a little bit fatiguing, but it's fine. It's worth it in the end. And you know, we still get plenty of time to rest. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Let's go. As this intense schedule is going to continue into next week, and I believe coming into May we should be able to slow down again a little bit and just have maybe 1 cast a day sort of thing, at least for most of the days. So yeah, should be able to calm things down a little bit coming into May, but for the most part, the rest of April is going to be more of 2 casts a day every single day here on the CranKy Ducklings. Again, if you do want to tune into some more CranKy Duckling action, we are live We are live more than any other channel out there. And if you cannot watch this live, then check out the VODs, as we do upload VODs on a daily basis. Plenty of content on YouTube. YouTube is the place to be. As a reminder, Twitch does no longer support VOD content, so VODs will eventually be deleted and removed from Twitch. Instead, YouTube is the place to be for all that VOD content. Thanks for casting today. Take care and have a great rest of your day, evening, night, morning. I will veg like no tomorrow. It'll be beautiful. Aye. Pig rain? No, we got you covered. You got something to drink? Hydrate, papi, hydrate. But otherwise, yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to help support us monetarily, you can do so via subscribing on Twitch, becoming a member on YouTube, or via Patreon. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. You'll get a link to our Patreon page. We do, that Patreon does support our tournament specifically. 100% of the money goes towards the players. So if you want to support the players, if you want to support the scene, if you want to support StarCraft, then Patreon is the place to be. Otherwise, you can also donate. We do have a donation link in the chat. We don't often get donations here on the channel, but you know, if you wish, you can do so via the donation link as well if you wish. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. We're gonna be heading off. We'll be back in 9 hours time with those best of 9 show matches with Beyond versus Dark in a best of 9. So we'll see you in 9 hours. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid who is live at the moment. Who is live? Who can we send everyone over to? Let us have a look. Your Nice is streaming. Okay. I'm tempted to raid all mate Nice. Rex is about to go offline, I believe. We'll find something to raid. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego. See you next time.